Chesticles and testicles, welcome back to another massive Hollywood flop. We live for these W's. I know. I shouldn't be laughing when the franchise that is beloved by so many people has absolutely fallen into oblivion and disarray. However, I am kind of so happy about it every time Hollywood takes an L, because ultimately they are going to need to change so many things about how they produce movies. In my opinion, it's a W whenever they take an L. You could have a different opinion, but you're wrong. So, they recently released Borderlands. It's an $100 million movie that barely made $2 million over its opening weekend. This is a magnanimous level flop. So, Borderlands is a video game franchise that I don't know much about yet. If you guys leave a like on the video, I will do a lore dive into the entire Borderlands timeline. Big, fat, hour-and-a-half Borderlands deep dive. So let me know. I love absorbing all lore. I absorb all the lore. But Borderlands, $100 million movie, decided not to adapt the game story for whatever reason. Absolutely failed. In my opinion, huge W for us gamers. All right, let's see what it's about.
I'd say shut your brain off.
So this Peru, I actually really like his coverage of in general. So he basically, he puts together all the awful interviews and articles and just, oh God. Oh, I love the downfall. I feel like Homelander, just looking at those peons below, releasing absolute dog shit content and wondering why is it failing. But we have so many lesbians in the movie, they said. But was it enough? No! All right, anyway, let's see what it's about.
I'd say shut your brain off, grab your popcorn, and let the movie entertain you.
At least you can do half of that. If you want to see the Borderlands film, you've probably already switched your brain off. Borderlands has really gone through the drama mill since its release in just a few days.
Oh, let's freaking go, baby! The drama mill! That's what it's all about. And again, if you guys want me to do a deep dive on the lore, let me know.
The critic...
Oh, shit, 9% on the tomato meter! Woo! They didn't even pay off the critics to make believe they like it. Was that too real?
Score that started at 0, slowly creeping up to 9%.
Oh shit,
as
let's
people
go.
with lower standards decide to watch
Let's
it,
go.
where all of the fresh reviews have the lowest score they can possibly give it.
Wait, this is a positive review. Visually, the film does a commendable job replicating the cel-shaded look of the games. But this achievement only serves to highlight the film's emptiness. 2.5 out of 5 rated fresh. Oh, that's so bad.
While still marking it fresh, 2.5 out of 5, 3 out of 5. I don't even know how your B- factors into movie.
What the fuck is a B-? Who gives a B- score on movies? I'll give it 4 cheeseburgers out of 12 French fries.
He scores.
It's a B- out of all 26 letters of the alphabet.
Wow, got
6
him.
out of 10, 3 out of 5. The review scores were bad enough on their own, but since then...
Dude, I love when reviewers review things with a completely arbitrary, useless metric. It's my favorite thing in the world. It is literally my favorite thing when reviewers are like, they're trying to be hip and cool. I will give this a score of a single bald eagle out of freedom. Oh, cool. Love that.
Everything's got worse. Whether that being the fact that officially Borderlands is bombed now, pulling in $4 million across the Thursday and Friday, where they...
$4 million on the opening weekend on an $100 million budget. Oh, Lord. That's an L. Well, an L for Hollywood, W for us.
They're saying it was in serious danger.
Listen, call me an anarchist. Call me a fucking chaotic, neutral piece of shit. But the way I see it, the more L's Hollywood takes when they try to not adapt a game, the better. Maybe next time, they'll adapt the game.
Of opening up below $10 million for the weekend. Before it opened with below $10 million for the weekend at $8.8 million. Even worse internationally, which got $7.2 million. Coming into $16 million overall based off a at least $115 million budget.
It was even more expensive than I thought. It's an $115 million show. Oh my God, this is during the summer and everything. And it was based on a good IP. Like, here's the thing. Borderlands is a known IP. The reason why they adapt known IPs like Borderlands is because they figure, hey, at least Borderlands fans will watch this. Oh, the L.
Budget. So in this case, it seems like the people that need to
Shut your brain off, grab your popcorn.
would be in the accountancy department. And I mean, this is a
Nice.
movie that's so bad, it actually gets headlines such as, surprisingly, some people did actually like the movie.
That's the greatest headline I've ever seen. Surprisingly, There is one brain-dead guy in the audience that thought it wasn't terrible.
It was so shocking, they wrote an article about it,
Oh
pointing
my
out
God.
such critique as, I really loved it. I don't know why, I just did.
Oh, nice. That's good reviewers. This is the reviewers I pay for, ladies and gentlemen. I pay for a reviewer that doesn't tell me why they liked it.
But then again, they also thought that Claptrap was amazing, and at that point, it just seems like bait.
What's happening right now?
There are some
What was that scene? Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, that was, oh lord. If the whole movie is that cringe, I'm gonna cry. I know Charlie says it was made by ChatGPT, but I'm starting to see that.
things that are just too much of a stretch to actually believe when it comes to Borderlands. Such as when people were pointing out the massive errors in the movie, and you have the producer, or more importantly, CEO of Gearbox, the company that makes the game, screaming, yes, yes, I'm so glad you noticed it.
That is the most cope thing I've ever seen in my life. When someone accidentally doxes themselves and someone calls them out for doxing themselves. Oh, thank God someone picked up on that! Huge W, guys! You noticed that Easter egg, my home address!
A friend of mine pointed out that in the Borderlands movie, when they're opening the hatch, you can see a crew member open it for them. I don't
What?
know how
No.
this went unnoticed.
No!
It's the funniest thing.
No! Dude, the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones was one thing, but that's a TV show. This is a movie.
I've seen all day. And if you go through to the clip
Oh my fucking god, it's the hands of the crew member. Wait, so this guy's opening the hatch and the crew member's hands are just there?
on Twitter, you could see him up here grab the lid as they open it.
How the fuck did that make it into the final cut of the movie? There's no way. There's no way you could be this incompetent.
Just reaches over like the crew member.
Oh my god.
You're like, oh, maybe it's just a cast member. That would hold if later in the same clip, everyone else
They all showed up from there. Oh my god.
didn't just crowd around the other side. Now, at this point, you could just go, yeah, it's funny. Lots of things that happen in that movies. There's quite a few movies where people will walk along and bang their head, like in Star Wars. Or there'll just be a mic boom peep down from the top. It happens all the time. And some things are even left in deliberately as little in-jokes to editors or the crowd. Like the Wilhelm scream. Randy,
I love the Wilhelm scream.
oh, not that smart. He replied, yeah, someone noticed this. Yes, it's Brick. But he got cut from the rest of the movie.
That was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. I'm so happy you noticed our glaring error. It was Brick. We cut him from the rest of the movie, but he was right here. He was here all along. Bro, Brick is in the Borderlands movie as much as Moist Critical is in the Hunger Games.
Yes, in every single scene he was ever in, they
I
just
can't believe they cut him out of the entire movie.
happened to crop him out of the sides. Right. This isn't meant to poison the well with Randy Pitchford, because, I mean, he did say it, but it's more to show the sort of passive-aggressive, sarcastic tone with which he deals with a lot of people on Twitter, which puts his other comments that we'll get to later in a different perspective.
Oh my
such
god,
as when
that's pathetic. That is so pathetic. Holy shit.
people are asking him, why don't you listen to the fans anymore? It's truly disheartening to see what's happened to the franchise. I'm literally on this platform taking opinions. Did you even see the movie? What didn't work for you? Was there something specific about that that did or didn't work? That's a question he asks. Basically everybody. Was there something specific you could name?
It's a 9 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. Are you really going to one anonymous Twitter guy to bitch at him for not being specific in his criticism when it was rated a 9 out of 100, less than a 1 out of 10?
He didn't like it when they mentioned something specific, like maybe the critics' reviews. Yes, that's the world. Does that make you feel good? Well,
what a petty bitch. But, like, I'm a petty bitch, so I like pettiness. But that said, you can only be petty when you're, like, you know, remotely successful at what you're doing. You can't release the biggest flop of modern Hollywood. You don't understand. This is an $115 million movie that made $4 million on its Thursday, Friday debut. This is a magnanimous flop, a monumental disaster.
well, after sitting through that trash, finding out that other people hated it as well is quite cathartic. It's like, I know I had to suffer through it, but at least other people have done so as well. But before Randy acting like a spurned lover, let's head over to
We missed you, Randy. Oh, how you been?
screenwriter and
There's no Brick, there's no Mordecai. We have a Krieg that has no place in the movie. Again, I will do a lore dive on Borderlands. I just like witnessing the fire. I like witnessing the shit burn. I like seeing the big megacorp Hollywood taking a big fat L. Maybe they'll recognize their errors and change. And if not, I just get to laugh at the L.
Director
works.
Eli Roth.
Do you have a favorite Easter egg that's featured in the movie?
The answer is yes, I do.
All right.
But yeah, it does differ. I mean,
He just doesn't answer it? Do you have a favorite Easter egg in the movie? Yes, I do. Anyway, I was thinking about ordering Chinese for supper.
Yes, I do, obviously.
No!
I'm not going to tell you what that is. Never mentions it again.
That's fucking crazy. That's amazing. Man's a robot.
Answer the...
Bro, this is exactly like when they ask people in like the presidential debates. It's like, what is your opinion on illegal immigration? I'm glad you asked. Have I mentioned how Joe Biden embarrassed America in Iraq? It's like, wait, what? What is your... Do you have thoughts on the economy? Yes, I do have thoughts on the economy. Anyway, Joe Biden in Iraq. It's like, oh, God.
The question at all. It's like, hey, mate, can you give me a hand with it? Yes. Yes, I could. It's not surprising he doesn't seem to remember the movie, though, to be honest. The writing has been on the wall for a while now with Borderlands, as it's hitting cinemas more than 3.5 years after principal photography kicked off.
My
And while
God.
Lionsgate...
It took longer to make Borderlands than Dune 2? The 3-hour CGI masterpiece, Dune 2, was made faster than this nuts and bolts ball of shit?
It financially shielded itself by recouping nearly 60% of production costs via international pre-sales. In other words, we got other gullible schmucks to carry the can.
Real. They were like, okay, we know the movie's gonna suck. We know people aren't gonna watch it on release, so let's pre-sale it as much as fucking possible.
In that 3.5 years, Eli left to make another movie, and they had to bring in Tim Miller to do reshoots to desperately try and save it. Clearly that didn't work, but it does explain why his answer
Do you have a favorite Easter egg?
yes, I do.
would be the same when he's already made...
That's my favorite new clip. Do you have an Easter egg that you like? Yes. Anyway, Chinese food.
a movie in the middle. And that's not the only strange interview he's done, and while he starts with this like, oh, I got permission to do it, very quickly goes off the rails.
Things I talked to Randy Pitchford, the creator, about. I was like, I want to make a great, big, fun sci-fi movie.
Okay, you want to make a sci-fi
Alright, a sci-fi movie, cool.
movie, do you? How about a Borderlands one, though, first, eh? I think we can all agree the most important aspect and inspiration for a Borderlands movie should be Borderlands.
Oh, fuck, I'm dying. There's no way he talks about all of his inspirations for the Borderlands movie and doesn't actually mention the source material. There's no way we live in a universe where he doesn't mention the actual source material as his inspiration for the movie.
I want to do a mix of Star Wars and Mad Max and Fifth Element
He's going to mention Borderlands at some point during this diatribe, right? He's going to mention Borderlands.
and Barbarella and Blade Runner and Escape from New York.
No, we're going to mention basically every other film that's ever been made, but we're never going to say Borderlands. So what means...
I can't believe what I just saw. When they asked the writer of the Borderlands movie why they're making the Borderlands movie, what inspired you to do Borderlands as a movie? Borderlands, the game, the source material for the movie was not even on the list of his inspirations. These are the assholes that should not be adapting shit, okay? I made an entire video about artistic vandalism. I'm talking about these guys. Like, these people that find big IPs and then they decide to just completely build their own stories based on the big IPs. In the words of George R.R. Martin, a lot of writers take big IPs to make their own story, but people aren't coming to these IPs for these writers, and the writers know that they can't get anyone to watch their shit. So they literally vandalize another piece of art so that people can see their story.
Inspired by, well, everything except the games.
I want all of these things in there. I don't want to just recreate what's in the game. And he
Why would you? You don't want to
I don't want to just recreate, you know, the thing I'm adapting.
just do the game. It's only a Borderlands movie based on the video games. I don't want to just do them. They're video games. Who cares
Oh my
about those?
God.
No, obviously the most important thing in any video game adaptation is everything except the pissing source material. Obviously, I'm an artist. I'm a movie maker.
Yeah.
I can only be inspired by movies. As he smears his own excrement on a wall.
was great. He's like, go
Damn real. Dude, that's crazy. I can't believe this. Bro is really sitting there, sitting tall, and is like, what's inspiring you for Borderlands? A Star Wars Mad Max.
for it. The games are their own canon, and the movie is its own thing.
Last bit particularly important, isn't it? It's basically gone, yeah, so, you know, I didn't care about the games at all. I wanted to do all
He
the...
literally just took the aesthetics of the games and made his own fucking movie. And he wonders why people don't like it.
movie stuff, I did get permission to do all that from Randy Pitchford. He was fine about it. Where Randy Pitchford's attitude was, there's no outcome of this movie that can hurt the games. The money surrounding the movie is the movie studio's risk, so I'm not really affected by that, except that if the studio loses money, it may not want to make another movie, which would be a shame. And
yeah. Oh man, wouldn't it be a shame if this company that absolutely bungled a movie doesn't make another movie?
that is incredibly short-sighted for a CEO of a company that owns an IP. He did say in another tweet that he believes his audience is so loyal that there wouldn't be brand damage from the movie onto the games. That's just his opinion. I think we've seen with the superhero genre that putting out bad stuff does affect the other superhero movies.
Well, yeah, no shit. If 9 out of 10 superhero movies that come out are shit, I'm not gonna want to go watch another superhero movie until I know for a fact it's not shit. And thank God. You wanted to go to the theaters and end up getting the whole family together, getting some popcorn, taking a night off, kicking back, finally taking a break, and then you watch Morbius or Madam Web? No, of course not. I will never go to a superhero movie until it's actually confirmed to me that it's not a complete dumpster fire. Because 9 out of 10 these days are.
Big danger is when people stop giving you the benefit of the doubt. They stop buying stuff assuming that it'll be good, and they want it proven first. That hurts sales, and so if I was him, I wouldn't be allowing trash like this out the door, because it does reflect on your IP as a whole, and people who—
It does. Like, as an example, okay, when it comes to something like Star Wars, I would still recommend people watch the original Star Wars, okay? I tell people to watch the original trilogy and to watch the prequels and the Clone Wars. But And I don't think, no matter how many awful new Star Wars that are made, I wouldn't tell people to not watch those Star Wars. However, by the fact that there are so many Star Wars now, I think that the gateway to entry is a little scarier. And to have to write an outline for the amount of Star Wars you're not supposed to watch because it's dog shit is daunting.
May have played the games previously if they liked the movie, now will just think that Borderlands sucks because their first impression of it, the movie.
True. That's why I want to do a lore dive on Borderlands. I don't want to judge Borderlands, the franchise, based on an absolute dog shit adaptation.
Sucked.
Games are their own canon. The movie is its own thing.
So the last attitude he should have had is that. The games are not their own thing. They shouldn't be their own canon. You shouldn't be able to do anything and just go for it. The quality of the movie does reflect on the IP as a whole, regardless of whether Randy thinks it should or not. It just seems to be a case of I got the permission to do anything, so I did. But the thing I most love about Eli is how flexible he is with his answers. Check out this from a different interview.
How did you approach staying true to the game while also still bringing your own creativity?
I wanted to stay true to the spirit of the game.
All about—
Oh. So, how did you stay true to the game? Oh, well, I stayed true to the spirit of the game. And the spirit is, like, guns. So, we have guns.
About the game. All about the game he is now. I definitely want to stay true to the game, or at least that's what the first half of that answer implies.
I wanted a beautiful visual aesthetic. I didn't want it to look like a kind of dark dystopian.
It's very strange that he would even say that about Borderlands. No one could say that Borderlands is a very dark, gritty aesthetic. I mean—
So he didn't want to adapt the games exactly because he didn't want the movie to look like something that the games don't look like. That is the worst logic I've ever heard in my life.
And yes, there's junk all over the place, but it is incredibly bright.
Fun and poppy, like when I saw The Fifth Element or even Barbarella or Escape from New York.
Does he ever reference a video game ever?
Or notice the same problem as the previous interview? Yeah, I didn't want anything dark.
This man has never played Borderlands. He's never even fucking done a lore dive on Borderlands, I bet. This is insane.
Dark and gritty, I didn't do any of this. No, instead, I was inspired by these other movies. Yeah. Not Borderlands. Didn't mention Borderlands. Not I wanted a bright aesthetic because that's what Borderlands pissing has. Because it was The Fifth Element, so that's the one that really got me to decide on this.
We could really stay true to the design and detail of the game and the weapons.
We can absolutely stay loyal.
The design of the weapons? Oh yeah, the design of the weapons, identical. Everything else, totally different story. It's a slightly different canon, but the spirit is there.
To the game. How are you doing that? Well, you know, I mean, we put weapons in it. Most important part of any adaptation, I think you'll find. Yes, stay accurate to the weapons. Anything else?
But we could really, really change things,
crazy.
Whether it was the casting or the story.
Yeah, we put some weapons in it.
So we kept the weapons the same, but as far as the casting and the story and the characters, that's all different. That's his own vision, all right? Based off Star Wars and Mad Max. I can't believe that this is like a real thing. And he wonders why it flopped. He wonders why people are upset.
But, you know, we changed the people. and the story. Hang on, what's remaining from the games again?
The weapons.
As long as we've got our priorities sorted then, yeah, we'll just change everybody involved and the story and everything, but we will make sure that some things go bang bang occasionally.
That's insane. Holy shit. It's like, oh, we're making a movie adaptation of Elden Ring, so the characters are all gonna be different, but we're keeping the Godslayer Greatsword and the Bloodhound's Fang. Alright, so we're gonna make sure that the weapons look the same, but all the characters, they're all different, okay?
Not the cast. I'm not sure half the cast would be able to without somebody there to help them push.
What's your message to fans of the game who are a little skeptical of this adaptation?
Great question, great question. What is your message? What is your message to the fans that love a certain piece of art, that it means so much to them? Because video games, media, movies, they mean so much to people. People are inspired by art. What will you say to the people that you took art that meant so much to them and rubbed your butthole with them?
That'll be the ones that have seen it. What would you say to the fans who have seen this movie? Refunds will be at the desk.
I think that the game is the game, and if you want that experience, you're going to play it.
Wise words there.
Bro, so why didn't they just make Lord of the Rings a whole ass different movie? The book is the book. If you want this story, you can read it. So, in our version of Lord of the Rings, we're gonna make it like Star Wars. What? I can't even believe this. This is the opposite of adaptation. You are doing the anti-adaptation.
The game is the game, and if you want to play the game,
We're doing Call of Duty live-action movie, except we're not making it about war and shooting. We're gonna be making it about a tabletop game.
you'll go over to your console or PC and play the game. Borderlands is the game sitting at the table in the blue dress. That's where we're going with this.
But I think have an open mind and let yourself be taken on a ride.
You can always tell somebody's about to give you really horrible advice when they go in with an open mind.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So today, guys, we're making a new X-Men, except Wolverine is the bad guy and Magneto's the good guy. Because in this version of X-Men, racism is good. Like, what the fuck?
Why? Please just go in and make sure that you have lower standards than normal, is what an open mind is. Oh thanks, I'd quite like to keep my standards to exclude all of the crap stuff. This is almost like your starting comment.
Have an open mind, shut your brain off. If you want people to get into the
Bro's mind is so open, his brain is falling out. I am watching it happen in real time. It is just slurping off the edge of his face.
game.
I don't even know the rest of the quote yet. If you want people to get into the don't show them this movie. This will 100% make them think Borderlands games is ass.
Take them to see the movie. It's also a story you've never seen before. With
Just know how to sell it, isn't it? Yeah, if you want to get into the games, take them to the movie. It's a story they've never seen before.
Yeah, so we're adapting Lord of the Rings, but all the people in the book know how it goes, so we're just gonna kill Frodo early. We were thinking just killing Frodo. Gimli is the bearer of the ring now, and that's how it happens, okay? And that's just how it happens. Saruman becomes good, Gandalf never comes back to life, and the Balrog wins at the end.
People wanted the story for the pissing games. Well,
Oh, and the girl, Eowyn, the daughter of the king, yeah, she actually is the one that destroys the ring and becomes the new king of Gondor.
like the games. That's why they're going to see a movie about the games. Is there anyone there with an IP in mind going, I wish they'd make a movie about this and change it completely because it's ass? There's just one guy somewhere with an IP that he absolutely despises, but still wants a movie made of it for absolutely...
Dude, if I was the pettiest motherfucker alive, I would take some IP that I absolutely hate and I would just give it a Hollywood adaptation. Like, just completely ruin everyone's day. Just get into beef with someone at fucking Blizzard and then just do a Hollywood adaptation of World of Warcraft, but make it so ass.
No reason whatsoever. Like, I hate this, but it would be good in a movie if they changed it entirely. But they ask him about Kate.
Yeah, the Smeagol Smaug sex scene was a little weird, but other than that, I really appreciated it.
Blanchett, and he has an interesting response.
And I wanted to see Kate as this pissed off bounty hunter.
Yes, always the best kind of female archetype, isn't it? A rancid bitch.
You know, I thought of Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name. I thought of Kurt Russell, Escape from New York.
Notice how he didn't think of any Borderlands characters.
This is insane. He literally cannot, for the life of him, reference anything or any inspiration he actually took for the thing he's adapting. Like, I know the producer of the live-action One Piece. I talked to him about it so many times. The only thing he takes inspiration from is One Piece. Even the changes that he makes to the story, he does it in order to fit Netflix's guidelines, but he only references One Piece. Every time I talk to him. And that's why the Netflix One Piece was actually pretty good. You know? God, this is insane.
No, I kept thinking of the artistry that people had made as a movie. Not like any of those video games over there. I've never really bothered playing them. No, seems like a waste of time for someone of my worth.
And I read the character and I called Kate and I said, I want to see you as like Clint Eastwood or Kurt Russell. And she's
Yeah, even when I'm hiring her, it's like, I want to see you like Clint Eastwood. She's like, oh, where was he in the video game? Who did he play? No, it's not from the games. From my DVD collection.
said Escape from New York's my favorite movie. And I was like, all right, we're good.
Great, we were inspired.
So my favorite movie is this thing, so I'm gonna take something that is a totally different story and just turn it into something else because I like that other thing.
By her favorite movie, even though she knew nothing about the source material. This is somebody who's literally bragging it to every opportunity. This is nothing like those games. It's nothing like them at all. We just kind of ignored them. We started paying attention to all these other movies over here. But I did.
So you know Elden Ring? We're gonna make it Star Wars, okay? So let's hear me out. Okay, so all the demigods are Jedi, and the Dung Eater is the Sith Lord. Okay, just hear me out, guys. Hear me out. I want it to be very inspired by Star Wars specifically. So I really like the idea of the Caca Defiler, the Dung Eater, to be the Sith Lord, and all the other characters are just Jedi.
Get permission off Randy Pitchford, CEO of the company that made games. That means it's fine. Not because it's not like the audience's opinions matter, no. Only the CEO of the company that made it, you know, somebody else as highbrow and worthy in society as myself. We sat there in our ivory towers and going, ha ha ha, the peasants will eat whatever we put before them. Maybe that attitude is why Randy Pitchford has been melting down on Twitter for the last few days.
We missed you, Randy. Where have you been?
But the comments that they kept getting were basic things, such as the rating impacted what the movie could be, and the casting is bizarre. And yet, despite this being repeatedly brought up, such as the main sentiment of Borderlands fans share, is how baffling the casting was. 55-year-old Lilith, tiny Kevin Hart as Roland, and Randy goes, it's strange to me how much age and height are important to some audiences like yourself.
God. I have never seen such a public meltdown. Oh my god, this is insane to me. Okay, today we're doing a live-action adaptation of One Piece, except, you know, Kaido, that big guy? Yeah, we're gonna be casting Moist Critical to be playing Kaido in the live-action One Piece. It's gonna be crazy. Big Mom? Yeah, we're gonna be casting Lily Pichu as Big Mom. Yeah, it's gonna work. Everyone's gonna love it. You'll see, you'll see. Luffy? Yeah, we're gonna be casting EDP445. It's crazy how all you do is see age and race when you look at these characters. It says more about you than it does me.
Oh, it is weird that audiences would actually care about people being accurate to the games. The thing is, I don't really care about the games. As a basic fundamental part of Hollywood, you should just be looking at attractive people. But also, if you're doing an action movie, don't get a 55-year-old to do it. It works better if you're a bloke because they age better and are designed for this stuff. But we're already going beyond the I can't really believe you can do that, as it is.
God, I hate this planet.
Without making me watch all the movie scenes, wondering about your hip.
Bro, if you're making an adaptation, adapt. It's like, listen, no one is stopping you from follow your dreams and make your own wonderful piece of fiction, okay? I just want to make this clear. I'm not trying to stomp on the dreams of everybody. I am trying to prevent you from stomping on the dreams of people that like this game. They did Lilith dirty. They did everyone dirty because they're not adapting the game. They had no chance. They failed before they started.
I didn't go into the Borderlands movie expecting Retired and Extremely Dangerous 3. So yes, casting choices, surprisingly, have a massive impact on the movie because it impacts the audience's ability to actually suspend their disbelief.
Wait, you mean you didn't want me to cast Dwayne Johnson as the kindergartner?
And get absorbed in the movie in the first place. If all you're watching is, that's stupid, what are they doing there? The casting director has made a massive mistake. Or, as Randy Pitchford said,
it's just strange that you actually care who's in a movie. I never thought actors actually played a big part in a movie. I didn't know the characters affected a video game or the mechanics of it.
It's either lying or too thick to be part of an entertainment company.
No, that's fucking crazy. It's crazy that someone could actually have that response. How on earth could someone have a response like that? Oh, why do you care? What do you mean, why do I care?
Whatever you prefer. Although the best bit was when somebody goes, this movie stinks. Even said, you know this movie stinks. To which you replied, I sincerely do not think that the movie stinks. I enjoyed it. That's actually a massive black mark against you as being an entertainment CEO.
This is insane. Bro said he enjoyed his own movie, which was rated a 0.9 out of 10. Not a 9 out of 10, a 0.9 out of 10.
If you have really bad taste that goes directly against the audience, you probably shouldn't be the CEO of a company. But then it goes, you know, there seems to be mixed opinions. About half the people who don't like it, and half the people do. This is like Marmite. We're gonna make a product which is absolutely awful, and run with the line, you either love it or hate it. To try and give—
True! He's not wrong! He's not wrong, bro. This is how I have to fucking start this. Listen, I have a hot take. Now, you're gonna either love it or hate it. So Mr. Beast should make a video with 50 priests versus 50 children. Okay? You're either gonna love or hate that idea. It's a love it or hate it idea. It's one or the other. There is no in between. Love it or hate it.
Give the impression that because it's so hated as a product, there must be somebody else that likes it to balance you out.
It's pink. It's pink.
It's in my mouth!
The Beatles—
Oh my god, it's so cringe. It's so cringe.
had more #1 hits than any other band in history, and their hit rate was less than 25%. I wouldn't be comparing the
He compared the Borderlands movie to the Beatles. Dude, oh my fucking god. Whenever I make these comparisons, it's fucking crazy. It's actually insane.
Borderlands movie to the Beatles. Yeah. Also, I don't know how many #1s the Beatles had, but if they're getting a #1 every 4 songs, that's incredible. What are you saying? Really that by the time you get to Borderlands 4, you might have actually made a good one? He also did, again, the very passive-aggressive thing of when people were trying to basically insult the movie, going, well, you must be saying that I did better games with my job. So I'm
better job with the games.
Very flattered about that. It's like, yes, even when you insult me, you actually end up complimenting me.
Bro, when you're a masochist, you could get through anything. Yes, masochism is not a disease. Masochism is a survival mechanism. God, it's fun to be a masochist.
All very—
Dude, the amount of people shitting on me on the internet, and it's just like, oh, thank you for taking your time to do so. Ah, yes, as I open my mouth further for your defecation.
Obvious language and passive-aggressive tricks like that. And I don't know whether he does this all the time, don't normally pay attention to his Twitter. But as you can see, all the replies are really long replies. There's the odd short one, but a lot of them are
oh my god, this is so long.
Very, very long replies. So then it's a bit weird when he says, I don't know about the video, I'm crazy busy and haven't had time to read any reviews, let alone watch a video.
Bro replied to 4,000 tweets and didn't have the time to read any reviews? And he's talking about the reception of the movie? How is this guy, Randy Pitchford, one of the guys that made this shit, how does he get 2 likes on his tweet?
Well, you seem to have plenty of free time to reply on Twitter, mate. I'm not sure time is particularly an issue when you're dropping walls of text at people on Twitter. It also doesn't help when he goes, I've not seen any reviews or watched the video. When he says, I'm on this platform taking opinions. I want to learn from them. I'm trying to take different perspectives. I'm right here, ready to listen to you. And
I have never seen such a wide array of L's in my life.
Like, well, you could have gone through the reviews, couldn't you then? You want to listen from people that are criticizing the movies? Go and read the reviews. Or is it that you're not interested in the critique of the movie? It's more the passive-aggressive responses that you can give to people about them.
Clever. Setting up the plans of a farmer.
I want Happy Meals.
As there's one running theme throughout his replies. Did you see the movie? Did you see the movie? That wasn't the question, but did you see the movie? Could you tell me something specific? I just want something specific, bro. Please, just tell me something specific. A significant part of the response—
I love how if you just make a movie that is entirely shit, you can never really criticize it. Because anytime you say, wow, this movie was bad, they just hit you with, do you have specifics?
With that. So you're already lowering the value of their opinion. Well, did you even watch the movie, bro? As opposed to going to the critics who did. And for somebody who is, well, he's crazy busy. He just doesn't have the time to go through reviews.
This dude has 700,000 followers on Twitter. He gets 2 likes on his tweets. Purpose, create joy and happiness. Games, movies, magic. That's the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Well, he did have a lot of time to actually go through all the responses, talk about how he'd been blocking people, all the various problems that he'd had, and this goes on.
Oh my god, he doesn't shut up!
Like, you can just keep scrolling. It just keeps going. He even decided to pick a fight with Paul Tassi. In this tweet, see if I could find the original, where he had to apologize because he blocked loads of nasty people and accidentally blocked some people he didn't intend to. Oh, so he goes, I'm sorry if there's any problems with that, fair enough. And then he goes, oh, except for that Paul Tassi guy. I'm sorry if you got blocked yesterday. It may have been a mistake. Unless your name's Paul Tassi.
This is fucking insane. This guy's fucking unhinged. This guy needs a therapist, like, for real, for real. Like, I don't... Randy, get a therapy. Touch grass. Get off Twitter.
In which case, I'm making it...
You're not making it better. You have not made anything better at all.
Specific exception. I definitely did that one deliberately.
Wow. Wow.
It was pointed out to me that I blocked him too, and I accidentally blocked 3 people, but not Paul Tassi. I blocked him on purpose.
This is the pettiest shit in the universe. This is the guy that made Borderlands, the movie, and it flopped? Wow, big shock.
Blocked him, but I think I'm gonna block him again. Just something about the dude's attitude. It just feels off, you know, bad vibes, you see.
Why do you need to give a whole paragraph to explain why you blocked someone on Twitter? Dude, it's Twitter!
Some stuff where he seems to act like he knows me and fronts like he knows something that he doesn't, and it rubs me. He does say bad vibes. It's just the vibes, bro. It's strange to see someone so obsessed, but he seems super
Randy, get some integrity. This is fucking tragic.
Obsessed with the stuff with me and my company. Dude, he's a pissing critic. He writes about entertainment and video games. You make video games, and then your video game made a movie. Of course he's gonna talk about it. You can't make entertainment products and then complain when people pissing talk about them. That's what you want. Or is Randy Pitchford the only person who makes a game and hope that nobody finds it on the internet? So when people go, you just make YouTube videos for views. Yes. Why else would anyone put one online? I don't know. Imagine if this entire channel was just—
Dude, this is fucking crazy. I can't believe we're actually witnessing, like, a mental breakdown in real time. Like, this guy is actually fucking unhinged and really does probably need help. Like, he is going through the worst time of his life right now, and I can't do anything other than just laugh at him for being a complete loser.
Just like my personal video inbox was only there to back up videos that I hoped nobody ever saw. But he seems super obsessed about the stuff my company make, and I know he's a dude who's making a living, so good for him, but I'm not in the mood. Some people said he's a journalist and a—
Wait, he's a video game critic reviewing a video game, or reviewing a video game movie. If you don't want— What? This is stupid. Oh my god.
Video game critic. He's allowed to voice an opinion, yes, and I'm allowed to block him.
This is fucking great. Yes, you are. Congratulations. That's your rights as a Twitter user. Lobotomite. Brother, why would you make that whole post? Don't you realize it makes you look like such a loser? Such a complete loser if you write an entire post on why you blocked a critic? This is crazy.
Kane joins in, also contributes to Forbes. Paul has covered Borderlands for years, often quite glowingly. As a critic, he's not just talking nonsense, because he, like countless others, disliked the movie. Have a little grace when taking your lubs. Well, if there's one thing we've learned from Randy Pitchford's diet—
He doesn't have grace when he takes his lumps. He's the most insecure video game maker of all time.
Tribes on Twitter. No, you can't do that. All of it is couched in this, I'm just after your opinion. Can you mention something specific, bro? It really comes across like, yeah, he's not actually interested. The whole,
No, dude, he's fucking coping so hard because his world is melting down around him. Like, this is the end of his career. He will never get another opportunity. And to be honest, he shouldn't. Unless he proves himself somehow.
You be specific about your criticism comes across more as this is—
You realize this is an $115 million movie that made $4 million on its opening weekend. That's the saddest shit in the universe.
It's a test to see if you've seen the movie. Tell me your favorite part of it. It was the credits, actually. It was the photo of the doors I took as I was leaving the cinema. Even this article says, well, the question appears innocent enough. It's clear from Pitchford's snarky responses to fans that he's not actually interested in constructive feedback.
No shit. Fighting with random anonymous people on Twitter implies that you don't care about actual feedback?
Because even though fans complained about the rating, Pitchford didn't seem receptive to those responsive either. Paul Tassi even replied, if by super obsessed you mean I've played hundreds of hours of every Borderlands game, a series I like, then wow, you got me. You also spent hundreds of hours talking about it, which is cool.
Oh my fucking god, it's his job!
And your business, and your prerogative. But you're not exactly normal when it comes to Borderlands.
Listen, the only reason why I'm blocking you on Twitter is because you're autistic. This man sits down. He just sits down and is like, listen, I know that you think you're qualified to review this because, well, you have experience in this game, but I think you're autistic. Like, what is he saying?
The CEO of the company that made pissing Borderlands.
Yeah, that's getting clipped out of context for sure.
And he's complaining that somebody is talking about his own game too much. Look, I know you can
Dude, this is insane. It's like getting Star Wars reviewers telling them, It's not fair when Star Wars reviewers review Star Wars because they know Star Wars too well. Oh!
Be a fan, but don't be too much of a fan.
You are poor, so you will...
Ah, Velma, the masterpiece returns. Let's fucking go. Rich white men! Rich white men! That's one thing that Velma taught me, that rich white men are actually awesome.
Like this.
That's just weird. Oh, you could like the games, but don't overly enjoy the game. They weren't made to be that fun, mate. And we continue the passive-aggressive rant with, it's cool, I'm all...
Bro makes porn for a living and just doesn't want you to jerk off to it.
So obsessed with a bunch of stuff, including Borderlands. I was making note. I get that the stakes for you on this probably feel different than what they feel like for someone who isn't obsessed. I think he means because he's a critic and a reviewer, he's basically going after the money and not giving his true opinion. The answers always seem like I'm passive-aggressively trying to put down other people. Like, your opinion can't matter because you haven't seen the movie. Your opinion can't matter because you're a critic and therefore you make money out of this stuff.
That's amazing. It's fucking amazing. You move the goalpost every time. It's like with YouTube apologies. It's like some guy makes a YouTube apology and it's like, yes, he didn't have enough tears. Yes, the apology was, it was actually 3/4 way through the video instead of 2/4 way through the video, so it's a little bit sussy-wuzzy. You know, there's the fucking guidelines for that shit. You know, or you're not qualified because you haven't watched the movie, because you have watched the movie, because you've watched the movie too much, because you've watched the movie too little, because you probably weren't paying good enough attention when you were watching the movie, because you're not a woman, because...
Oh, the only...
Yeah, let's just play it. The people on the internet are stupid.
The ones with valuable opinions are the ones who tell him what he wants to hear. But it feels like you're trying to hurt something I love. You're trying to hurt me.
Oh,
that's what...
Oh, you're trying to hurt something I love. Me! How do you have an ego this big when you made the biggest flop in Hollywood history? The biggest flop in Hollywood history. And this man really sits here and says, you're hurting something I love. Me.
What it felt like. The movie sucked, mate. Paul Tassi even said he likes your pissing games. They were the ones that you made. You're a producer on this movie, but you also said you had nothing to do with the creation of it. So, I'm not sure why people criticizing the movie feels like a criticism on you. You didn't make it. If anything, you should be angry that people made crap out of your IP. And maybe learn next time so that when somebody comes to you asking to make something from your IP again, you actually have more creative control on it to ensure that it isn't crap. You shouldn't have let this movie get into this condition. I'm happy to chat and have a real conversation.
No, you're not. You're too busy to read an article. You think you're gonna debate this guy?
If you want, because probably all the people telling him that what he did was out of line made him go, oh, actually, sorry, this wasn't a popular decision, was it? It's not every day that someone gets an offer to chat with the creator of something they've spent hundreds of hours enjoying.
Well, I don't know, man. I spoke to the producer of One Piece. I've spent hundreds of hours reading One Piece. I don't know. Thank you for the compliment, Randy. And it was actually really fun because that guy's really cool.
Terrified that one day he'll be discovered as the aging, talentless hack that he really is.
It's not every day that somebody of your, you know, common stature, one of the plebs, gets an offer to communicate with one such as me.
Dude, I love that fucking holier-than-thou attitude that fucking creators or producers or whatever, people that work in the actual media industry have compared to, you know, the reviewers. Like, I'll give you an example. I was at an anime convention. I was signing, I was invited to, like, do a signing for fans. So I was doing a signing, and the table next to me was a voice actor. I'm not going to say which one, because whatever, don't need to start beef. Was a voice actor, and we were both doing signings. My line went out the door. His line was about halfway through the room. I spent about 30 seconds with each person. The guy sitting next to me spent 2 minutes with each person, doing, like, crazy voices or whatever, and his line was super slow. My line was fast. But still, my line was out the door. Okay? So, I remember talking to the guy. He was so snarky. He says, you review anime. I am anime. It was the cringiest thing I've ever heard in my life. Of all time ever. It's like, you think just because you review anime that you have any power when I am anime? I was like, holy shit, this guy's neurotic. He's a lobotomite.
I shall deign to decide to descend from my perch and mix in among the common peasants for a while. My aim will be to sincerely understand you better and share fellowship over something we so both obviously love.
Right.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
How will you use that offer? Will you use it to write a review criticizing Borderlands? Or will you use it for the just and righteous purpose of acting as an advertising marketing position for my
the fucking saddest thing I've ever seen. Man went through a whole fucking ballad over here.
company for free? His meltdown was so extreme, you had people commenting, extremely thankful the Borderlands movie exists so I can watch Randy Pitchford lose his mind in real time.
Damn.
Randy Pitchford having a meltdown on Twitter because nobody likes the awful Borderlands movie is incredibly funny.
It's incredibly sad.
I guess he read my review.
God
Why
damn.
are you acting like such a deranged fool? Paul writes gaming articles for Forbes. It's literally his job. Nobody's ever got the vibe that he's obsessed with you. It sounds like you've got main character syndrome. I'd be quite content for the dude to never think of me again. Cheers.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god. Must be some new usage of the word deranged fool you're using. Wow, you cooked him.
When you want passive-aggressive, oh boy, have we got passive-aggressive for you. When he finds out that Paul Tassi wrote a book, he's like, should I read this? I'm going to try and build a bridge here, because I'm an idiot. This dude isn't just a critic. This dude is out here making stuff, adding to the world, and I respect that. I blocked him because I thought he was trying to hurt me, and something I love, so
That is the fucking saddest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I have never seen something this lame. Ever. He's created something. I blocked him because I thought he only destroyed. Not that he also built.
Well, I'm gonna read his book, then you're gonna criticize it.
Just seems like you two are a lot alike. You're both literal geniuses.
I've never read anything from Randy Pitchford before, but I love this kind of tactic, because it's so obviously transparent. No, I'm just reading it because I want to build a bridge between us. Oh.
And then proceeds to just shit on it.
Oh, by the way, your book sucks, mate. You criticize me, I criticize you.
Got him.
I just thought you were a critic, but now I've found an in. God, he kept going with him. It's my opinion that you enjoy
Oh my god, he's literally fucking living in his head rent-free.
Talking crap at my expense. Your comment further reinforces my opinion. I get that you're doing your gig, but why be a jerk about it?
Says the guy that just went through a full fucking meltdown on Twitter.
Surprising that he has the balls to say that after how he's talking to people. No, it's fine, you see, because I'm just doing it passive-aggressively and insinuating things. That means that you can't call me on it. It's fine, you can't call me on it just because I tweet like a bitch.
You're pure evil.
And you're just another man taking credit for a woman's work.
And that seems to be the standard attitude.
I don't know what that was from, but oh god.
Of people involved with the movie. They don't care about the games. Nobody seems to care about the outcome of it. The people making the movie didn't care about the games, and the people that make the games didn't seem to care about the movie. Oh well, if it fails, doesn't impact on my money. This isn't how you make entertainment or adaptations. You actually
I argue this is a crime. I would argue that this is artistic vandalism. Taking an adaptation of something, you don't understand what this means to people. I don't want to get all sappy here towards the end of this video dunking on these Borderlands fucking idiots, but guys, Borderlands as a video game franchise touched the hearts of so many people. Me not included, okay? I never played Borderlands. I want to do a lore dive, but I've never played it. I'm not going to make believe I did. But this is something that impacted so many people, and you took something that meant so much to so many people, and you fucked it with a toothbrush, okay? Like, it's so much sadder than just a movie flop. You deserve every bit of fucking shit that's flung your way for this fail.
You have to be invested in the source material. As was said by the guy that worked on X-Men, you have to care about something before you can contribute to its legacy. And that seems to be what was missing from Borderlands. And so it ended up in a very predictable mess. And this is an issue that Hollywood keeps repeating. It's a lesson they should have learned by now. But
that's why I like these L's. They spent $115 million on this movie, and it absolutely fucking failed to a insane degree. The more this happens, the less it's going to happen. Either they're going to stop adapting games, or they're going to be better at adapting games. I see this as a complete and utter W. See, I prefer when Hollywood adapts a video game and fails spectacularly than adapt a video game and produce absolute mediocrity. That's my hot take, okay? I prefer a spectacular failure than a mediocre, lukewarm, boring, coasting success that goes out like a wet fart.
Hollywood won't learn any lessons until the people making the mistakes are actually held accountable for those mistakes and can't just go off to their next project, repeating failure after failure, only to fail upwards once more. But in an industry like Hollywood, where they only allow one opinion, it's not as if they have much of a selection for people who are actually good at their job, as all the people capable of making entertainment are exactly the kind of people that Hollywood despises. And so
True, because Hollywood doesn't want to take any risks. Hollywood does not want to risk a goddamn thing. They want to get the same people to make the same shit, to churn out the same creative garbage so they don't have to take any risks at all. And that's going to be their undoing. The fact that Hell of a Boss, a indie animation on YouTube, is bigger than almost any Hollywood show to come out. Or Has Been Hotel is the biggest show on Amazon Prime, all right? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to think of it that way. But it's true. It's the passionate projects that are created by individuals that are so much more successful than the corporate cock gobblers that are just making absolute derivative trash. And it's beautiful.
So it's going to be interesting to see just how long it takes them to turn this around and learn that particular lesson. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. More videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one.
Damn, that was a good video. Check out Disparu. I like when he covers this stuff and he goes through the articles and the creator reviews and shit like that. It gives me a better look at the behind the scenes of this absolute dumpster fire. God damn! Anyway, leave a like. Let me know if you want me to do an actual Borderlands game lore dive. I will if you want. Thank you for being here, and bye-bye. If you made it to the end, click one of these two videos, which also will definitely get me canceled. See you live on Kick. Stay weird, fam.